It's a new day for the YD Red Sox. Yesterday's trip to Hartford proved to be just a detour. At Dunkin' Donuts Park, the Hyannis Harbor Hawks put up 9 runs in the first 3 frames on the Red Sox en route to a long blowout loss for YD amid 100-degree heat. But it's been over 24 hours since that game ended. The Red Sox got to sleep in their home beds. They're back home today and ready to take on another Western Division foe in the Cotuit Kettleers. Red Sox baseball coming up in just a moment. Booth here above Red Wilson Field. Sam Lebowitz alongside the lovely Carlo Jimenez as always. And Carlo, it's a new day for the Red Sox, and that's a good thing because after a 9-3 blowout loss to the Hyannis Harbor Hawks, where frankly the Red Sox really didn't show up to Hartford at all, how do they rebound?
Yeah, I mean, I think the first thing is getting hits early in this game. Get the offense moving, get you some mojo. YD didn't really put back-to-back hits together until the 7th inning yesterday. It just felt like a game they were slowly moving through. You feel like that offense needs a jump start early to feel good about themselves.
And they get a Cotuit Kettleers team that looks a little different from the last time the Red Sox faced them back on June 29th, a complete roster overhaul for a team that had a lot of draft-eligible talent when last we saw them, and today we get a chance to see some of the best young players on Cape Cod.
Yeah, top of the lineup is what you want to watch. It's Tommy Troy and then Enrique Bradfield Jr., 2 guys who, with their performances this summer, could be top 10 picks in next year's draft. They are electric. Tommy Troy, one of the best power hitters on Cape. Enrique Bradfield Jr., well, we all know 46 stolen bases in a perfect 46 attempts in the spring at Vanderbilt. It does not literally get better than that. It's going to be fun to watch.
Ivan Romero will have his hands full today, and Fernando Gonzalez with quite the test. We'll see if he can try to throw out Enrique Bradfield Jr. in this game. Red Sox and Kettleers. The Red Sox are warming up on the field. We'll take you out to the field in just a second, get you the lineups, and first pitch in this one. T-Mobile is proud to sponsor the Cape Cod Baseball League. T-Mobile believes that when small towns thrive, America thrives. That's why they're investing billions to bring fast, reliable, and affordable wireless service beyond the big cities and small towns across America. There's never been a better time to join T-Mobile. Visit T-Mobile.com/acrossamerica to find out more. The lineup that Ivan Romero will face today for the Cotuit Kettleers, as the Red Sox at 17-10-7 face Cotuit 18-11-5. The second-place team in the Western Division against the first-place team in the East. Off for Cotuit, he'll play shortstop, followed by the center fielder Enrique Bradfield. C.J. Kafis, the first baseman, bats third. Josh Pearson in right field cleans up. Calvin Harris, the catcher, bats fifth. Sam Ruda will play the hot corner at third and bat fifth. Carter Trice will DH and bat seventh. Eddie Park, the left fielder, bats eighth. Kobe Wilkerson, the second baseman, rounds out the lineup. Ruda, of course, the third baseman, batting sixth, Ivan Romero making his first start in quite a while, back on June the 28th in Harwich. The last time we saw him open a game on a mound, has made just one appearance since then, came on the 17th of July. His first pitch to Tommy Troy is fouled softly over towards Mike Roberts in the third base coaching box, and we're underway. 4:58 at first pitch, a tad early from our scheduled 5 o'clock start. Here in South Yarmouth, 82 degrees and cloudy, no threat of rain. 0-1 to Troy, swinging to miss a high fastball, and the count is 0-2. Overall, in 4 appearances, Ivan Romero, 1.74 ERA. That last outing in Brewster was a very weird one in that he only faced 2 batters. 0-2 to Troy in the dirt, the changeup. In relief, he came in that one, gave up a hit and a walk, and then was pulled in the middle of it. Dancing on the mound, the University of San Diego Torero to Stanford's Tommy Troy, who's been a revelation for this Cotuit team in his 20 games. 1-2. Taken on the outside corner, strike 3 called. He got him with a fastball. And Romero off to a hot start, strikes out one of the leading hitters on Cape Cod looking, and Tommy Troy. Troy, a .380 hitter with 5 home runs in 20 games, is dispatched on strikes, and that's how this one starts.
And a great start for Romero, who during batting practice today, Sam, was in the infield with Grant Taylor taking second base, a guy who I'm not sure he knew he was starting till late.
For a strike. Bradfield, one of the finest young talents in college baseball, draft eligible next year. Vanderbilt's starting center fielder hit .317 in 62 games for the Commodores with 8 home runs, drove in 36. 0-1, another changeup, another swinging strike, and Romero gets ahead of him. No balls and 2 strikes. A potential 5-tool guy, a top prospect in college baseball, and Carlo mentioned it off the top, 46 stolen bases in 46 attempts. 0-2. Fastball missed a little bit away. With 2 strikes, the infield shifts to the right on Bradfield. Mike Bovee, the third baseman, the lone man on the left side. Get you the rest of the defense for the Red Sox in just a moment. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Bradfield. Here it comes. Changeup taken just a bit low, says home plate umpire Jeff Kinney. Jeffrey Merzel at first, and Steven Kalenda over at third. Bradfield playing in just his second game since being activated for Cotuit. He was with Team USA, made the final 26-man roster, and competed overseas. 2-2. Lifted in the air out to left. Hit fairly well. Caden Connor a few steps back. And he makes the catch head high. And that's the second out. 2 up, 2 down for Ivor Romero here in the top of the first. Here is the Red Sox defense. Mike Bovee, the third baseman. Cole Carrick, the shortstop. Gunnar Antillian plays second, and Johnny Long over at first. Fernando Gonzalez doing the catching, and left to right in the outfield. You met Caden Connor, Homer Bush Jr. in center, and Braden Montgomery is out in right. Here's C.J. Kafis, first baseman batting left. First pitch home, a fastball for a called strike. The Red Sox wearing their alternate white uniforms with socks in red, backdropped by Cape Cod silhouette on the upper left chest. Blue caps, an American flag designed under the armpits. 0-1 to Kafis is topped slowly on the infield. Second baseman Antillian lost the handle and throws it away. And it's going to go on out of play. And C.J. Kafis can trot on down to second base. Antillian never really got that ball out of his glove cleanly and spiked the throw up the first baseline. And it got away from Johnny Long. So give it an E4 on Gunnar Antillian. And Kafis aboard in scoring position with 2 out here in the top of the first. It brings up Josh Pearson, playing right field today, an LSU product, another left-hand hitter for Romero to contend with. Just a 200 hitter over 19 games with Cotuit, who wear their maroon tops. Cotuit outlined in white across the front of the chest. White pinstripe pants. First one to Pearson. Misses a tad low. Pearson's got a mini 2-game hitting streak working, and in Hyannis 2 nights ago, he hit his first home run of the season. Infield shifts right on him. Runner on second, and the 1-0. Changeup misses a little away. Count quickly 2-0 on Pearson. We've got some wind swirling out to left field. Looks like it's a day that has a threat of rain, and yet we've been told that there is no threat of rain, just humid and overcast here on Cape Cod. Not a lot of light from the sun. Be interesting to see how that affects how long this game goes for. 2-0 is fouled straight back. We're hoping that perhaps the clouds clear up, but for the time being, we are playing under gray skies here at Red Wilson Field. Still a nice crowd on hand to see this one on this Thursday evening. Runner on second with 2 down, a 2-1 count on Pearson here in the top of the first. On its way. Fastball called strike on the outside corner. Romero evens the count. It's 2-2. Gunnar Antillian's got his feet in the outfield grass in shallow right. Cole Carrick playing a couple steps to the right of second on the pole side. Outfield straight away on Pearson, a slight shade to the pole side. Mike Bovee, the only man alone on the left side. Big lead at second for Kafis, and the 2-2 home is floated foul towards the Red Sox dugout and over it out of play. If Pearson can find his way aboard, Calvin Harris, the catcher, is in the on-deck circle. Another left-hand hitter, 4 in a row after Tommy Troy, and then another one even after that in Sam Ruda in the middle of this Cotuit lineup. Before the 2-2, they'll check on Kafis at second. Kafis has just 1 stolen base this season. Cole Carrig playing close to the bag and holding him on there. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs here in the top of the first. Runner on second. Romero deals the 2-2. Swing and a miss. He got him. High fastball. Pair of strikeouts in the opening inning for Ivan Romero. Works around the 2-out, 2-base error and moves us along to the bottom of the first here at Red Wilson Field. A scoreless game between the Kettleers and the Whitey Red Sox.
Cape Cod Veterinary Specialists offers premier emergency and specialty care for your pet when it matters most. Located in Buzzards Bay and Dennis. Learn more at CapeCodVetSpecialists.com. That's CapeCodVetSpecialists.com.
The bottom half of the first here at Red Wilson Field. The Red Sox coming to bat against the right-hander out of George Washington University, Harrison Cohen, making his 8th appearance on the mound for the Kettleers, his 7th start, 3-1 with a 2.36 ERA, 26 innings pitched, 26 and 2/3 innings pitched, 20 strikeouts, 8 walks. He's allowed 21 hits. Last pitched against Brewster back on July the 15th at Stony Brook Field. Went 4 innings, got the win. Allowed just 1 hit and 1 run in that outing. He's 5th on Cape Cod in innings pitched and 8th among qualifiers in ERA. The lineup that Cohen will face for the YD Red Sox. Homer Bush Jr. leads off, followed by Cole Carrig, the shortstop, and Luke Schliger, the DH. Braden Montgomery cleans up in right field. Caden Connor plays left, back in the lineup, plays third base, bat 6. Johnny Long, the DH, will play first. Fernando Gonzalez catches, and Gunnar Antillion, the second baseman, rounds out the YD lineup. Ivan Romero, a scoreless top half of the 5th, and the Red Sox will try to provide some run support here against Cohen in the bottom half. A Syosset, New York native who crouches behind the mound before stepping onto the rubber to face Homer Bush Jr. and begin this ball game in the home half of the first. Wind blowing out to left field. Bush hands held low. The first one home from Cohen is rolled towards short. Tommy Troy on the backhand, taking his time, throwing on the dart in time. Gets Bush by about half a step. 1 pitch, 1 out for Harrison Cohen. And it brings up Cole Carrig. Good chance to get you the rest of the Cotuit defense now that you've met the shortstop, Tommy Troy. Sam Ruda, the third baseman, stands with him on the left side of the infield. Colby Wilkerson's at second. C.J. Kafis is at first. Left to right in the outfield, Eddie Park, Enrique Bradfield, and Josh Pearson with the catcher, Calvin Harris, behind the plate for Harrison Cohen. Cole Carrig, playing shortstop today, was all over the place yesterday for YD. The first pitch misses outside for ball 1. YD, a tough game in the Cape Cod Classic out in Hartford, Connecticut. YD and the Hyannis Harbor Hawks made the long trip over to Dunkin' Donuts Park. 1-0 to Carrig. Check swing down and in. Did he go? He did not, says the third base umpire Stephen Kalenda. And Carlo, that was a long day. An 11 a.m. start for YD and Hyannis. They got on the road for Hartford around 6:30 a.m. Hit some traffic that pushed them back about a half hour. 2-0 to Carrick is a fastball strike. Didn't take batting practice on the field. Neither did Hyannis. 100-degree heat in that game. Eric Yost giving up 6 runs over an inning and 2/3. 2-1 to Carrick. Swing and a miss, a changeup and a good one that spins Carey into a hole at home plate. Matt Cavanaugh giving up 3 runs in the third, and by the end of the third inning, we were about an hour and a half deep from first pitch. It was taking a while, and the Red Sox were in a 9-0 hole. They only got 3 of those back and lost 9-3. 2 balls, 2 strikes on Carrick. Is rolled to the right side and foul. Cole had an active day, though. He threw a runner out at home plate from center field. He had a hit in 3 tries with a pair of walks. And he also pitched a scoreless inning on the mound. The Red Sox getting a little creative in eating some innings with guys we don't normally see pitch. Carrick among them. 2-2. Chopper slowly out in front of home plate, fielded by Cohen. He spins towards the bag, runs up the first baseline a tad, and tosses to first in time to retire Carrick. Pair of groundouts for Harrison Cohen. And the first 2 retired for YD here in the bottom of the first, and Luke Schliger will hit.
And one thing we talked about in that game was you hope that what happens doesn't spill into today. And it felt like the energy at batting practice, that was not the case. Guys were smiling, enjoying the breeze and being away from the bright sun.
Here's Luke Schliger with 2 out. Going out of the full windup. First pitch home, a fastball for a called strike. This is an interesting infield alignment right now with Sam Ruda, the third baseman, playing deep in the hole towards short. But even with the bag, his toes pretty much on the infield grass. And the rest of the infield straight up. So not a big hole between Troy and Ruda on the left side. 0-1 is swung on and missed. A good changeup there. And Cohen ahead, 0-2.
And that's been the key for Harrison Cohen here early. He's had every hitter on their heels so far, ahead in counts.
Luke Schliger only played 3 innings yesterday. He gave way to Fernando Gonzalez. The heat got to Luke a little bit yesterday in Hartford. 0-2, high fastball. They count 1-2. Nobody out, or rather nobody on here in the bottom of the first. And a scoreless game between the Kettleers and the YD Red Sox. 3rd of 4 matchups between these 2 teams. Last time they'll square off here at Red Wilson. 1-2 to Schliger. Is chopped slowly towards second. Wilkerson fields the high hop, and he throws out Schliger on at first to end the inning. A ground out to second for Schliger to retire the side in the first. We move on to the second. A good start for both starters as we're scoreless through a frame here at Red Wilson Field. Hey fans, if you're here on Cape Cod, you might want to come down to Red Wilson Field right now so that you can join our players after this game for autograph night. Tonight, right after the game ends, the guys will be meeting fans and signing baseballs, bats, and other items. So come down to Red Wilson Field if you can. You still got plenty of time. We're only entering the top of the second here in South Yarmouth, a scoreless tie between the YD Red Sox, the Cotuit Kettleers. Calvin Harris, the catcher, will lead off for Cotuit against Ivan Romero. Sam Lebowitz alongside Carlo Jimenez as we get going in the second. First pitch home is fouled off left side by the left-hand hitting catcher Calvin Harris. Harris followed by Sam Ruda and Carter Trice. That's 5, 6, and 7 in this Cotuit lineup. Harris, the left-handed hitting catcher out of Ole Miss. The 0-1 is swung on again and fouled back again. quickly, no balls and 2 strikes from Ivan Romero to Harris. An Iowa native is Calvin Harris in his 11th game as a Kettleer. He's a .242 hitter without an RBI. Still searching for his first extra base hit. Line the other way on a hop and a base hit in a left field. Gets past the third baseman, Bovee. And a leadoff single, the first hit for either side for Calvin Harris.
It's not the same Calvin Harris, the DJ?
I didn't think it was. And in doing some independent research, I found that I was correct. It's not
Okay.
the musical artist Calvin Harris, who has collaborated with many of today's pop stars.
Just making sure.
Here's Sam Ruda out of Army West Point, another left-hand hitter. He's playing third base today. Just his second game for Cotuit. With the runner on first, no outs. First pitch, a high fastball at the letters, a called strike. A 390 hitter this year for the Black Knights. 7 homers, drove in 36. Went 2 for 4 in his Cotuit debut yesterday. Romero from the center of the rubber. 0-1. This is up and away. Brings Gonzalez out of the crouch. The Red Sox infield shifted around towards the pull side on the left-hand hitting Ruda. With Gunnar Antillion, the second baseman, with his heels on the grass at second, as is Cole Carrick up the middle. 1-1. Misses away a changeup that faded off the plate. And the count 2-1 from Romero to Sam Ruda. Ruda ended the regular season with West Point on a 10-game hitting streak. Hit .571 in that span. One of a couple of new Cotuit Kettleers. 2-1 to him. Fastball away, and the count 3-1 on Ruda. Fernando Gonzalez trying to get Romero in the zone here. He points at his pitcher and says, hey, stay with me, as he falls behind. 3 balls and a strike. Runner on first, no outs. Top of the second, scoreless game between Cotuit and YD. Carter Trice, a right-hand hitter, to follow. Here's the 3-1. Upstairs ball 4. Ruda takes a walk in the first 2 on against Ivan Romero here in the second. And Ivan not looking as sharp as he looked in that first inning, in which he struck out a pair. Carter Trice now. Trice finished up at Old Dominion this year. The right-hand hitting DH will be headed to NC State to play his junior season. Committed to NC State the same day that Tommy White, better perhaps known by his moniker Tommy Tanks, entered the portal to leave NC State. Right-hand hitter wiggles the bat out in front of him. First pitch from Romero is popped up, back of second into shallow center. Homer Bush charging in from center. He makes the one-hand catch and no tag by Harris, the runner on second. So a fly out to center for the first out here in the second, and that'll ease the tension a little bit for Ivan Romero. Makes this situation a little more simple. With Trice retired, Eddie Park, the left fielder now.
And now you can get that double play, possibly end the frame. See if Ivan can work another unproductive out.
Park, a .255 hitter, another left-hand hitter, had his third multi-hit game of the season yesterday in Bourne. Bat rests on his shoulder. A yellowish ash bat, in the first pitch is chopped slowly towards first. Johnny Long picks it, throws to second for 1. No relay by Cole Carrick. He spins and looks towards third, but he has no play anywhere. It's a fielder's choice, a little slowly developing. Park retired on a fielder's choice, actually stands at first as Ruda is erased off the base paths. Up to third goes Calvin Harris. Runners on the corners and 2 out. And here's Colby Wilkerson, the second baseman. UNC Chapel Hill product. Wilkerson stands in the left-hand batter's box, a .240 hitter. He's driven in 3 runs. Working on a 3-game hitting streak. First pitch home with runners on the corners, fouled straight back. Wilkerson, a interesting bat, a two-toned bat with, looks like, horizontal tiger stripes that run across a tan barrel, a dark black hilt in his hands. Runners on the corners, 2 out. The 0-1. Swinging a foul tip held by Gonzalez. No balls and 2 strikes on Wilkerson.
Yeah, Sam, if you can imagine looking at the side of a tree as if you were to take the middle out and you see the rings, he's got those rings at the end of the bat. So I don't know if the pattern's on purpose or just the cut of wood he got, but it looks cool.
It's cool. It looks like tiger stripes. That's where my brain goes. Choked up on the bat on 0-2 with runners on the corners, 2 out, scoreless game. Here comes the 0-2. Up and away, and a good job by Gonzalez leaping out of the crouch and catching that ball with about as little wingspan left that he can muster before that ball had a chance to get by him.
He literally did a jumping jack.
Saved a run there in doing so on a fastball that ran into the right-hand batter's box. And Romero squares the count to Wilkerson, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Harris led off the inning with a single. He stands at third. Eddie Park, the runner on first with 2 out. Here in the top of the second, Romero trying to strand a couple of Kettleers and keep this game scoreless as fans mill about a Thursday evening at Red Wilson Field. They'll check on the runner at first before the 2-2. Nothing going there as Park is back safely on his feet. Got some fans watching this game from beyond the outfield fence. A young fan sitting on the camera stand that sits empty beyond the center field fence. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 on. Here it comes. Swing and a miss. He got him. A high fastball. Romero unscathed with a strikeout of Colby Wilkerson to push us along to the bottom of the second here at Red Wilson Field. The Kettleers and the Red Sox scoreless.
Well, hello there from Captain Parker's Pub over in West Yarmouth on Route 28. The entire crew from Captain Parker's wants to give a big salute to Cape Cod baseball, especially the young players that have dedicated so much time and effort to America's pastime. So join us for lunch or dinner or just a bowl of our world-famous clam chowder. Captain Parker's. Easy to find, but awfully hard to leave.
Red Wilson Field, a scoreless game. The Kettleers and the YD Red Sox as we enter the bottom of the second. Sam Lebowitz along Carlo Jimenez. Rain all day, but we have stayed dry here on the center of the Cape, though it is continually very overcast and fairly humid today. About 78 degrees, but no rain in the forecast. Interesting enough. The Red Sox have the middle of their order against Harrison Cohen here in the bottom of the second. Scoreless game. Braden Montgomery will kick us off, followed by Caden Connor and Mike Bovey. Switch hitter batting left out of Stanford. First pitch home from Harrison Cohen, lifted in the air, out to left center field. Not all that deep. Eddie Park moving a few strides to his left. He makes the catch in the gap and puts away the first out. And just like the first inning, 1 pitch, 1 out for Harrison Cohen to start the frame.
And in batting practice, Sam, even though it's overcast and it looks like there might be a threat of rain, the humidity, balls were really flying earlier today, and we'll see if that continues here in a short porch in center. But it was a loud batting practice for the YD Red Sox.
And one of the players who had allowed BP was the guy who stands in now in games this year. But Caden hit a few balls over the fence in BP, and he stands in the left-hand batter's box against Cohen for 1 ball and no strikes. Caden had a fairly strong day at the plate yesterday. Continued his light hitting streak to 4 games. Went 2 for 5 in Hartford, both singles. 1-0. Missed down and away a changeup. And Cohen, the right-hander, who stands atop the mound with his maroon jersey unbuttoned at the top, no undershirt beneath it, flapping in the wind on a 2-0. Popped foul and out of play. Looked like Connor might have gotten something to hit there, but still ahead in the count. It's 2-1 on Caden, a .259 hitter overall. His birthday's coming up on August 2nd. He'll turn 22. He's had some good performances against Cotuit. 2 for 6 overall with a double. 2-1, a fastball that dots the outside corner. The count even on him. 92-mile-an-hour fastball there from Harrison Cohen, about where he tops out. He'll pop a few threes. Connor with the high socks as always. Waits at 2-2. Here it comes, and it's poked shallow to center over the shortstop's head and in front of Enrique Bradfield Jr., the center fielder. Another hit for Caden Connor extends his hitting streak to 5 games. First YD hit is a 1-out single here in the second.
The soft contact continues to be the best friend of Caden Connor. Another ball that he didn't barrel up, didn't square up, but pokes into no man's land. And we'll see if YD, Sam, with a 1-out single, can start to move the line against Harrison Cohen. Talked about how this offense needs to look for an early spark. Can Bovee provide that, being in the starting lineup for the first time in over a week?
July the 12th, last time he was in there. They'll check on Caden Connor at first. He's back in with a head-first dive. Caden's got just 1 stolen base this year. A decent runner, but we haven't seen him attempt to steal much. Bovee has gotten off the bench in each of the last 2 YD games. First one to the left-hand hitter in the dirt, boxed around by Harris, and no advance by Connor. Bovee came into the game yesterday in Hartford and laced a double in his 1 at-bat. Hasn't started since the tie here against Brewster back on July the 12th, and dealing with a bit of back tightness that led to some unrelated hand issues. But he's back in there today. 1-0. Fouled off left side. Mike was named as a replacement to the Eastern Division All-Star team today, so he'll get to make the trip down to Wareham. The Red Sox are up to 10 All-Stars overall who have been named to that team, as the Cape League today announced a few more All-Stars to replace players that are off to their professional franchises after being drafted. Another check on Caden Connor. Red Sox, 2 of those, Jared Lyons, and then the Cape League kind of unwittingly naming Zack Veen as an All-Star replacement, and then realized Veen has also been drafted and will head off. He was released today to join the Minnesota Twins. 1-1. Chopper up the middle. Wilkerson on the backhand. Can't get it. It's by him and into center field. Turning, heading for third is Caden Connor. He makes it standing. A 8-hopper by Mike Bovee that gets by the second baseman. Back-to-back singles for the Red Sox. They've got runners on the corners with nobody out, and Johnny Long the hitter.
Mike Bovee, another hit. It's 2 in back-to-back games, but this is the guy who really put on a show today, Sam, in batting practice. Johnny Long was seeing the ball well. Let's see if he can make a statement. YD's leader in home runs.
Johnny's got 3. The Red Sox have not hit many this summer, especially in the month of July. But Long has put on some impressive power displays in batting practice as of late. He stands with runners on the corners, nobody out. First pitch, swing and a miss. And he lost the bat. It goes up the third baseline where a fan picks it up towards the bleachers, who hands it back to Scott Pickler down the third baseline.
Usually balls fly around the yard, not bats. But Johnny is going to put some pine tar on the handle and squeeze tightly on this next swing, got to imagine.
Going back to the All-Star replacements, Ivan Romero was actually named to the All-Star team as well. That's what makes it 10. Veen was named, and then Bovee and Romero as well, adding on to the 7 that were originally slated to go to the game. 1 out, runners on the corners after back-to-back singles. 0-1. This is rather hits the inside corner. Home plate umpire Jeffrey Kinney will hear some jeers from the home crowd. The count is 0-2 on Johnny Long, who's reached in 6 straight, including a walk yesterday in his 2 trips. 0-2 is poked foul, got a piece of one running away from him. Scoreless game, home half of the second. Caden Connor, the runner, on third. Mike Bovey, the runner, on first. They each singled here with 1 out. Corner infielders for Cotuit are playing about even with their respected bases. Middle infield is back, hoping for a double play chance. 0-2, away, a fastball. Wind is blowing out pretty strongly to left. On this humid day, he talked about the balls flying all over the yard in batting practice. Long leading the team with 3 homers. The outfield playing him fairly straight up. 1-2 in the dirt, and a late attempt to steal by Mike Bovey. He goes up without a throw as the ball was in the dirt. A delayed stolen base attempt, and Bovey advances to second.
3rd stolen base of the summer for Mike. And all of a sudden, Johnny Long with the swing of the bat as the infield creeps in, can put YD up 2-0.
2 in scoring position, 1 out, bottom of the second, a 2-2 count on Johnny Long. The infield in all the way around. First baseman Kafis is off the bag at first. 2-2 to Long. He's choked up on the bat. Here it comes, and it's fouled off towards the Cotuit dugout. Johnny has had some strikeout issues this year. He's got 30 and 86 at-bats in 32 games. Needs to put something in play here to give the Red Sox an early lead. A single will score 2. Mike Bovey has a big lead at second. The 2-2. Swing and a miss. He got him. A high fastball. And Long blown away on one coming up and in on him. It's the second out. The infield can move back, and it'll take a 2-out knock to drive home at least 1. Fernando Gonzalez will get the licks.
Well, Fernando has been seeing the ball better as of late, but you're asking him for a big hit here, coming through with 2 on in scoring position.
He's got just 2 RBIs this summer, a 184 hitter, but has been hitting the ball better. Hits in 5 of his last 6. First pitch, a fastball that misses up and away. Came off the bench yesterday, caught the last 6 innings of that game. Had a walk and a hit in his 3 trips to the dish in Hartford. That hit was an opposite field single, a nice piece of hitting. Same hit here would score 2. 1-0. Slider that fades over the outside corner, and the count 1-1 to Gonzalez. Caden Connor, Mike Bovey, the runners from scoring position. They each singled. Bovey stole second. Infield is back for Gonzalez. Outfield a 1-1. Swing and a miss. A good slider there from Cohen. And the count 1-2 on Gonzalez. If he can reach the 9-hole hitter, Gunnar Antillion will hit. Scoreless game, home half of the second. Just really getting underway here at Red Wilson, but the Red Sox a chance to jump out in front. Cohen sets the 1-2 in the dirt. A good block by Harris. Count runs even on Gonzalez.
And Fernando might not be the best hitter for average on this team, Sam, but he makes every pitcher work during at-bats. He is a guy who's going to make you throw strikes.
He's got almost as many walks as he has hits. 8 walks, 9 hits for Gonzalez in his 23 games. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 in scoring position, 2 out. Here it comes. And it's lined towards short, right at Tommy Troy, who snags it head high. Barely had to move. It was right at him and finds leather. Gonzalez, a tough look, 3rd out. Red Sox straying 2 in scoring position. Can't bring any home here in the second. On to the 3rd we go. A scoreless game at Red Wilson Field between the Cotuit Kettleers and the YD Red Sox. MP Sports Cards is proud to sponsor the kids' baseball clinics. If you're a sports card collector, be sure to stop by and check out the latest releases, graded cards, supplies, and more. A local favorite for hobby enthusiasts across Massachusetts and, of course, your Cape Cod Baseball League. Stop into our store and mention code Red Sox to get one free pack of Topps 2022 baseball updates with any purchase. Some exclusions apply. Visit at 71 Main Street in Carver, Mass. or online at mpsportscards.com. Sam Lebowitz alongside Carlo Jimenez bringing you back for the third inning here at Red Wilson Field. And it's the top of the order for the Cotuit Kettleers. Tommy Troy against Ivan Romero. Scoreless game, top three. First pitch is fouled off slowly towards the Red Sox dugout. Troy behind 0-1. Took a called third strike to lead off the game, did Tommy Troy, who has been a revelation since joining this Cotuit team. Haven't seen him yet this year. He joined them shortly after we last played Cotuit. 0-1 is swung on and missed a slider. I should say, rather, the Red Sox last played Cotuit. Carlo, you and I have not yet seen the field of play this summer.
Someday. I keep showing up to batting practice. Just waiting.
0-2 count on Troy on its way. Slider missed away, and the Stanford Cardinal took it outside. 5 home runs in 20 games with 18 driven in. 5 doubles, 2 triples, a .380 batting average, 2 multi-home run games. And say that it's been a surprise that Tommy Troy's been this good. He was excellent for Stanford this year, but he's shown more power than he did as a Cardinal. He had with Stanford this year. The 1-2. Fastball missed away. So the transition from metal bats to wood bats has gone splendidly for the North Carolina native who's playing shortstop today, and a chance to win MVP this summer. 2-2. High fly ball deep along the left field line. Could leave the park if it's fair. Caden Connor chasing it towards the corner. It lands just foul inside the fence. A long foul ball off the bat of Tommy Troy, and the count remains 2-2.
And the interesting note about Troy is he was here on Cape with the Wareham Gatemen last summer, a guy who was named a Cape League All-Star, but has already passed his home run total and is nearing his RBI total. He played the full season.
He's on a 5-game hitting streak. Another 2-2 and another foul. This one straight back to the net. And we're excited to get our first look at him because he has been nothing short of outstanding for Cotuit. He's only struck out 10 times as well. Another 2-2 is chopped slowly towards short. Carrick charges on the second hop. Throw across, safe. An infield hit for Tommy Troy. Carrick just couldn't get it out of the glove quick enough, and even with his very strong arm from the shortstop position, Troy beat it out at first. Troy is a plus runner, not much of a base stealer. 3 steals in his 20 games. Only had 5 this year for Stanford, but he can motor a bit and brings up another guy who can run exceptionally well and is an accomplished base stealer, Enrique Bradfield. After the leadoff single, left-hand hitter Bradfield out of Vanderbilt, playing in his second game with Cotuit. Activated yesterday, went 1 for 3. Didn't steal a base, which is of note. First one away, fastball. Scoreless game here in the top of the third. A quick first inning in which he got Troy to strike out, got Bradfield to fly out. But these are guys you want to keep off the bases. Troy dancing off first, the 1-0. Change up that floats over the outside corner for a strike, 1-1. Enrique Bradfield for Vanderbilt this year was the reigning SEC Freshman of the Year and did not disappoint. Did it on both sides of the ball. He impacted the game in every facet. 1-1 is fouled straight back. Most notably with his legs. 46 stolen bases in 46 attempts. He was not caught stealing for the Commodores this season. A truly, truly outstanding, remarkable feat for him. 1-2, runner goes and stops, and it's fouled back again. Troy faking a stolen base attempt there, heads back to first on another foul off the bat of Bradfield. He also hit .317, started all 62 games he played. Had 10 doubles, 5 triples, 8 homers. He drove in 36. He slugged just a tad under 500. Got on base at .415. 1-2, misses down and in a slider. Got on base at a .415 clip and played outstanding center field defense as well. The consecutive stolen base streak, the longest in over a decade in NCAA baseball, led Power 5 players in steals. 2-2. Just missed the outside corner, a changeup. Romero thought he might have had strike 3. Instead, the count runs full on Bradfield. We'll see if Troy runs. Infield shifted to the pull side against the Florida native Enrique Bradfield. With nobody out, scoreless game, top of the third. A 3-2 count on him. Hands held high, a little choked up on the bat, wiggles his elbow. And they might have picked off Troy. They did! Johnny Long applies the tag. Troy was dancing off the bag, and Romero nabs him at first base. A big first out. Troy dispatched off of first. One away.
Whitey thinking exactly like you, Sam. A full count. Enrique Bradfield.
Romero can work out of the windup with one out. The 3-2 misses high for ball 4. And now things can get fun, Carlo. Fernando Gonzalez will have his hands full with Bradfield at first base. We'll see what the Red Sox do to try to hold him on. 46 steals and 46 attempts for the Vanderbilt Commodore. Draws his second walk in his 2 games now with Cotuit. With one out, C.J. Kafis, the hitter, reached on an error his first time, and Bradfield already an aggressive lead at first base. First pitch home, Kafis fouls it straight back.
The secondary lead from Enrique is about 10, 15 feet off of first base as he brushes some dirt aside.
Second walk of the day for Romero. Fernando Gonzalez was locked in today. He knew something that few catchers can say they've done. We'll see if Bradfield's running. Infield shifted to the right on Kafis. Time called at home plate by Kafis after Romero varied his time and had a long hold there.
As much as it is on the catcher, it's on the pitcher as well to try to not give Enrique a chance.
Starts and stops on an 0-1, and it's up and away. Bradfield didn't get the jump he wanted. Romero missed high on a fastball, and the count 1-1 on Kafis, who himself is with the University of Miami. He was named their team MVP this year. A 281 hitter so far with Cotuit. They'll check on Bradfield at first. He dives headfirst back into the bag. 366 hitter with 8 homers, 51 driven in for the Miami Hurricanes. Had 12 doubles as well. Has yet to hit a home run for Cotuit. 1-1, not going, a pitch out, and the pitch is taken away. Again, kind of a start and a stop there by Bradfield. One of the most accomplished base stealers in all of college baseball at first base with one out, scoreless game, top of the third. A 2-1 count from Ivan Romero to C.J. Kafis. Not going, and the pitch is chopped slowly down the first baseline. Count 2-2 on Kafis. And Bradfield has not yet attempted to run in this at-bat. He didn't steal a base in his debut on the summer season yesterday. But Fernando Gonzalez was so locked in today, he was taking extra time with the coaching staff to work on his catching, his quick release, his pop times. Didn't take batting practice on field. 2-2 is rolled the other way, past Bovey and into left field, a base hit. Bradfield will hold up at second. Caden Connor gets to it quickly. A base hit for C.J. Kafis. Second hit of the inning. Ivan Romero would be in a real mess of this if not for the pickoff of Tommy Troy. It's 2 on with 1 out. And it brings up Josh Pearson. As he found space on the left side of the infield, did C.J. Kafis, with the infield shifted to the pull side on him. Bovey the only man on the left side, and he hit it to the left of where Bovey was playing. Josh Pearson struck out his first time. Bradfield a lot of speed on its second. Kafis, about an average runner, runs well for a first baseman at first. First one, swing and a miss. Good changeup darting away from the bat of Pearson. An open lane with the left-hand hitter in case Bradfield wants to steal third. Fernando Gonzalez doesn't have anyone blocking him if he has to make a throw down to the hot corner. 1 out, 2 on. Scoreless game here in the third. They'll check on Bradfield at second. Cole Carrick making a move to the bag, but no throw. Outfield plays deep on Pearson. A homer, 5 driven in across 19 games. He had 8 homers for LSU this year in 51 games. The 0-1 is taken away for a ball, and Bradfield with an aggressive secondary lead on that one. Wound up about 40% of the way to third base, but no attempt to throw behind him by Gonzalez, who held that close pitch an extra beat. 2 on, 1 out, a 1-1 count to Pearson. Scoreless tie, top of the third. Look to second and 1-1. Misses high, a fastball.
Isn't the first time Enrique and Fernando have faced off, of course, 2 SEC teams. Back on the 6th, the first of a 3-game series between Vanderbilt and Georgia, Bradfield Jr. stole 3 bases off Fernando Gonzalez in 1 game.
He wound up with 4 stolen bases in that series. A look behind Bradfield at second, but he dives back head first safely. The 3 stolen bases on May 6th, added 1 on May 7th, and Fernando Gonzalez was a little too locked in for us to ask him about it, but you know that he wants payback and doesn't take too kindly to opposing base stealers successfully stealing off of him. 2-1. Fouled straight back off one of the posts that hold up the chain link backstop. Count 2-2 on Pearson. Bradfield in all his speed at second. He walked. C.J. Kafis had a single. He's at first. Tommy Troy led off this inning with a single, but he was picked off first. That's the only out as we stand here in a scoreless game in the third. Slight shift to the pull side on Pearson in the outfield. Likewise on the infield. Cole Carrick playing a few steps to the left of the bag. Piers in behind Bradfield. The 2-2. Upstairs a fastball. The count runs full from Romero to Pearson. Cotuit has already stranded 3 runners on base through the first 2 innings of this game. They've got 2 more out there with 1 out here in the third. A 3-2 count to Pearson. Romero has walked twice, has walked 2 hitters already in this game, including 1 in this inning. Time called before the 3-2. Romero has already thrown 58 pitches. Working here with 1 out in the third and his first start since the 29th, or the 28th, excuse me, the 28th of June. Time called again. Fernando Gonzalez trying to get on the same page with the dugout who were calling the pitches for YD.
Feels like a big moment in this one, Sam. If Romero can get out of this frame with a 0 on that scoreboard, YD has to feel pretty good about themselves against the top of the lineup of Cotuit. 2
on, 1 out, 3-2 to Pearson. Romero deals home. Swing and a miss, he got him. A changeup running down to Pearson. He swung over top, a big second strikeout, and the 4th K for Ivan Romero already in this game. Working here now 2 out in the third inning. A huge second out, and the second time he struck out Pearson.
And Pearson's not a guy who strikes out a lot. Josh Pearson in 19 games, just 12 strikeouts coming in. He already has 2 in 2 at-bats here today. Just the second time all summer he struck out twice in a game.
Here's Calvin Harris, the catcher. He had a opposite field ground ball single his first time. Left-hand hitter, 2 on, 2 out. Top of the third, scoreless game. They'll check at second, close play, safe, says the field umpire, Steven Kalenda. That was the closest look they've had on Bradfield in this inning. Red Sox have already picked off 1 batter off the base paths. That was Tommy Troy, who led off the inning with a single, and they almost got Bradfield off second on Romero's connection there to Cole Carrick. Left-hand hitter. First one to him, Calvin Harris. Swung on, grounded on 2 hops to the second baseman, Antillian. He'll go the short way to second. Cole Carrick covering. That retires the side. A fielder's choice gets Romero out of the jam. The first 3 hitters reach, but a pickoff goes a long way to getting Ivan Romero through the third. On to the bottom of the third, a scoreless tie between the Kettleers and the YD Red Sox. Hey, Sox fans, have you ever thought about buying or selling a home? Emily Szymanski of the Salty Dog Group is your pet-friendly neighborhood realtor. As part of the team at Keller Williams Realty of Cape Cod and the Islands, Emily is your go-to resource for home buying and selling. Call Emily Szymanski at 508-221-0196. That's 508-221-0196. Or visit thesaltydoggroup.kw.com. Thesaltydoggroup.kw.com. It'll be 9-1-2 for the Red Sox here in the bottom of the third, a scoreless tie between the Cotuit Kettleers and the YD Red Sox, two of the top teams on Cape Cod, two of just three teams who have 17 or more wins. Cotuit won their 18th yesterday. Red Sox looking for their 18th today. Gunnar Antillian will lead off. Homer Bush and Cole Carrick at the top of the Red Sox order to follow against the right-hander out of George Washington, Harrison Cohen. Right on right, first pitch swung on and missed a slider to Gunnar Antillian. Red Sox have had a pair of hits through the first two innings, but they stranded them both. Both of those came in the second inning. Red Sox got two in scoring position, couldn't score. 0-1. Lifted in the air out to right field, fairly deep. Pearson back a few strides. He makes the catch well in front of the wall. Antillian flies out to kick things off here in the third. Homer Bush back around to hit for the second time. The top of the order for YD. Bush swung at the first pitch that he saw in the bottom of the first and grounded out to Tommy Troy at shortstop. Homer was able to extend his hitting streak to 7 games in his last at-bat yesterday in Hartford. First pitch, up and in, a fastball. Went 1 for 5 overall, but a .423 hitter over the 7-game hit streak. Also drove home one of the Red Sox 3 runs yesterday. 1 ball, no strikes to the right-hand hitter. Chopper, 2 hopper, a high chopper to Troy at short. Long throw across. Gets Bush by a step. A couple of close ground outs, but Bush is 0 for 2. And quickly 2 up and 2 down for Harrison Cohen here in the bottom of the third. Under dark, ominous clouds here in Red Wilson. Our eyes tell us that there's a threat of rain, but weather apps and radars tell us there's no precipitation coming, and that feels hard to believe because the wind is swirling, it's humid, and we've had dark overcast clouds all day. First pitch to Cole Carrick, fastball misses well away. Switch hitter batting left. Cole grounded to the first baseman, C.J. Kafis, his first time. Got on base 3 times yesterday in the loss in Hartford. 1-0. Golfed foul deep down the right field line towards the Cotuit bullpen. Count 1-1 on Carrick. Had a hit, 2 walks. Threw a runner out from center field at home plate and had a 1-2-3 inning on the mound pitching for the Red Sox in that blowout loss. It was a 4-pitch inning for Cole as well. 1-1 is rolled to the right side. Second baseman Wilkerson plays the third hop. Throw to first. Gets Carrick by about a stride and a half. A very quick inning for Harrison Cohen. 3 balls in play and 3 outs for the right-hander out of GW. Moving fairly quickly here. We're through a third of this ballgame. Carlo Jimenez will have the next chunk of it. We move on to the fourth, a scoreless tie between the Cotuit Kettleers and the YD Red Sox.
Red Shirt Fridays is a national program created to acknowledge, honor, and support our troops and first responders who put themselves in harm's way to defend our freedom. In support of this program, the Yarmouth Dennis Red Sox and all Cape League teams will be wearing a specially designed red jersey every single Friday. This special weekly celebration of Red Shirt Fridays is sponsored by Zephyr Hats, the Massachusetts State Lottery, and OT Sports. Carlo Jimenez alongside Sam Lebowitz welcoming you into the fourth inning here at Red Wilson Field as the Whitey Red Sox and the Cotuit Kettleers are even at nada. Due up for Cotuit in the top of the fourth. Sam Ruda, Carter Trice, Eddie Park, the 6, 7, 8 hitters for the Kettleers. Ivan Romero stands shaking atop the mound. He steps and deals. And the left-handed bat of Ruda swings and misses. First pitch curveball. In the count, no balls and 1 strike. Flag gusting out to left. A dark gray sky overhead. 0-1. Slider rolled down the right field line, foul. No balls and 2 strikes. There is a slight percentage of rain depending on what website you look at, but the highest it is 6%. Shift is on with 2 strikes. The third baseman, Mike Bovey, goes to the right of second base. Cole Carrick, the only defender, the shortstop on the left side of the infield. Second baseman, Antillian in the gap. 0-2, swing and a miss to the high fastball. Uno, dos, adios. Down goes Sam Ruda. 5th strikeout for Ivan Romero. And here's Carter Trice. On his way to NC State. Batting from the right side, Carter looking to extend a 5-game hitting streak, hitting 6 for 18 over that stretch. Stands deep in the box, twirls the bat just out in front of him. First pitch home. And the right-handed batter takes a strike on the outside part of the plate. And Sam, it feels like ever since Romero gave up that single to Kafis, he's been locked in.
Retired the last 3, 2 on strikeouts, and he is, I think, back into a groove.
0-1, swing and a miss, 5 straight strikes. Say that 5 times fast. No balls and 2 strikes to Carter Trice.
Throwing fairly hard here, too. You were worried, I think, a little bit about how long you can have Ivan go in this game because he's only faced 2 batters since June 28th.
0-2, swinging a foul on the right field line. There goes the immaculate inning.
Darn.
We were on track, almost halfway there.
Those are pretty rare, Carlo, but it's always good to strive for greatness. He's up north of about 70 pitches or so, but has done a good job of working out of the jams that he's worked himself into.
0-2, slider, swing and a miss. Back-to-back swinging strikeouts. Ivan Romero is locked in. That's number 6. And the newest Whitey Red Sox All-Star showing why he earned a trip to Wareham. Here's Eddie Park, the left-handed batter.
He's looking like an all-star in this game. Even with some of the traffic aboard against him, he's missing bats. He's working quickly. Not a ton of baseballs hit hard against his ledger. And he looks outstanding right now in this frame specifically.
First pitch to lefty Park is a fastball away. Whitey Red Sox trying to avoid back-to-back losses for just the 3rd time this summer as they sit atop the Eastern Division in the middle of 5 in a row against the Western Division. 1-0. Slider away. 2 balls and no strikes. Romero falls behind Eddie Park. And Ivan Romero has the task of taking on the hottest team on Cape in terms of a lineup. 2-0. Fastball well above the zone, off the outer edge. 3 balls and no strikes. Hyannis is the best team overall, but nobody hits better than Cotuit on Cape. The best batting average at .252, 20 points above league average. And in their last 5, they're hitting .278. Park rests the bat on the left shoulder, 3-0. He shows bunt, pulls it back, takes a strike down the middle. 3 balls and 1 strike to the junior out of Stanford from San Jose, California. Eddie with that bright bat. It's a light tan, open stance. 3-1. And he swings and fouls one down the left field line over towards the school buses. And 3 or 4 kids will go racing after it. One in a blue Nike shirt picks it up off the fence. Shift is on. Infield swung over to the right. Third baseman Bovey playing up the middle. Carrig, the shortstop, over to the left. 2 outs, bases empty, no score, top 4. 3-2. Slider catches the bottom corner. Strike 3 called. And Ivan Romero sits him down in order as he strikes out the side. 7 through 4 innings for Ivan. We head to the bottom of the 4th, still scoreless here at Red Wilson Field between YD and Cotuit. Giardino's Family Restaurant, a Cape Cod tradition, same family, same location for 52 years. Giardino's is part of the community, giving back to many and various organizations. As part of the recognition, a Yarmouth Little League field is named in memory of their dad, who founded the business in 1970. Giardino's is a family-oriented operation serving a wide-range menu, sure to please everyone. Give us a try. You will come back. Visit us at 242 Main Street, Route 28 in West Yarmouth, or visit Giardino'sFamilyRestaurant.com. Bottom of the 4th inning is right now. No score between the Cotuit Kettleers and the Whitey Red Sox. Luke Schliger, Brady Montgomery, Caden Connor due up 3, 4, 5, facing off against the righty Harrison Cohen. Cohen from the third base side of the rubber kicks and deals. Schliger, the left-handed batter, takes a strike on the outside part of the plate, a slider. And the count, no balls and 1 strike. Flag drifting in left. Great skies here at Red Wilson. 0-1. Fastball away. 1 ball, 1 strike. And the Whitey Red Sox are looking to down the Cotuit Kettleers, one of the best teams on Cape. We're first in the Western Division, 1-1. Schliger taps one off the end of the bat, rolls it down the right field line, foul. 1 ball and 2 strikes. For the first 5 weeks of the summer in the Western Division, Hyannis overtaking them 3 days ago. It is very humid here at Red Wilson Field, even though the overcast skies. 1-2. Schliger looks at a fastball, eyebrows high. 2 balls, 2 strikes. And Sam, if you just saw Harrison Cohen's uniform, you'd think it was raining because he is soaked atop the mound.
These are dark maroon uniforms for Cotuit, and you could tell he's sweating through it.
2-2. Fastball. Schliger cues one off the end of the bat on 2 hops right at the second baseman Wilkerson. He charges, gloves head high, lobs to first. 1 away.
Lots of balls on the ground. That's 7 of the 10 outs on the ground for Harrison Cohen, but you can tell he's working hard, and the humidity's getting to him because a large swath of that maroon jersey that he's wearing is a darker shade of maroon than a lot of the maroon that you see on the infield for Cotuit.
Switching lefty, Montgomery looks on. Cohen deals. Fastball misses up and in. 1 ball and no strikes. No score, bottom 4. Ivan Romero headed down to the dugout for YD. He is done. And a fantastic 4 innings from the reliever. 1-0. As Montgomery looks at a fastball in the dirt. In the count, 2 balls and no strikes. Cohen behind in the count to the Pac-12 Freshman of the Year. And Sam, if I'm Scott Pickler, you might want to start thinking about starting Romero consistently. Here's the 2-0. Slider misses off the outer edge. 3 balls and no strikes in his 2 starts. 9 innings, 5 hits, no earned runs, and a total of 10 strikeouts.
An open spot in the rotation with Jared Lyons leaving because he was drafted. Then perhaps there's
taking all the way. A strike catches the inside part of the plate, mid-thigh. 3 balls and 1 strike, no score, bottom 4. Cotuit trying to keep pace with Hyannis atop the Western Division. Here's the 3-1. Changeup, swing and a miss. 3 balls and 2 strikes to Brady Montgomery.
That's an excellent 3-1 pitch. Montgomery ready to attack a fastball, and Harrison Cohen pulled the string on him and caught Montgomery, a young hitter, way out in front of it.
Base is empty, 1 out here at Red Wilson Field. Can Montgomery get aboard? Payoff pitch down the hill. And he tinks, ball 4 in the dirt. He does get aboard. Change up, Montgomery does not chase. Braden, who's playing today with a couple of Stanford teammates in the field. Tommy Troy at short, Eddie Park in left. And here's Caden Connor, who singled and reached third his last time up on a bloop shot to center. Caden with now hits in each of his last 5 games. 3 of those hits, he's got 7 of them, are doubles. Connor, a left-handed batter, looks on towards the righty cone. Right arm dangles by his side. Montgomery leads at first. No stolen bases for him. They're going to check on him. He's back with a head-first slide. That white uniform with a dark brown streak now on the right side.
Braden Montgomery, we haven't seen him try to steal a base yet, but he is fast, but it's more of a distance runner than a sprinter.
His only play is to first. He guns it that way. Montgomery sliding into second. The hit and run works for the Whitey Red Sox. They get a runner into scoring position, and the double play avoided. Here's Mike Bovee. A single would put Whitey on top. No score in the bottom of the 4th inning between Whitey and Cotuit.
Kind of seeing it there. Montgomery got a good jump, but while he is fast, it's more that he gets his speed from his long gazelle-like strides rather than quick movements that allow him to be quick on a 90-foot sprint. Guy who certainly adept at moving around the entire bases, home to first on an extra base hit.
Lefty Mike Bovee looks at a changeup that drops in the dirt. 1 ball and no strikes to him.
Saw it especially the other day in the 7-7 tie that when he scored from first on that double into the corner by Caden Connor, that he didn't look like he was moving that fast, but he was covering a ton of ground around the bases because he's got those long strides.
He leads at second after taking a walk and reaching on a ground ball from Caden Connor. Bovee at the plate looking for his second hit of the day and his second at-bat. 2 outs, bottom 4. 1-0, fastball. Nicks the outer edge. 1 ball and 1 strike. Montgomery comes from an athletic family. His mom is where he gets his speed. His mother ran track at Iowa. It's always the moms. Montgomery fakes like he's going towards third. 1-1. Bovee half swings at a change. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Montgomery's father played football at Iowa. His uncle, Larry, played football at Arizona State. You kind of get the point. Bovee at the plate, left-handed batter who's 2 for his last 2 going back to yesterday. A 1-2 count with 2 outs. Go-ahead run at second base in the bottom of the 4th. The 1-2. Bounces in the dirt. Slider away. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Nobody up in that Cotuit bullpen. Somebody's throwing down the third base line. Sam, you have a read?
It's Sam Klein.
Oh.
The best first name on the entire Whitey Red Sox roster, if I do say so myself.
You probably didn't even have to look at him. You could, like, feel another Sam getting warm. 2-2. Bovee swings, lifts one into center field. It drops in front of Enrique Bradfield Jr. Montgomery gets the go sign. The throw in from center. Bounces in. Not in time. RBI single for Mike Bovee. Scores Braden Montgomery from second. And it's a 1-0 Whitey lead in the bottom of the 4th.
I'm thinking Barrel is back. First time starting in the lineup for the Red Sox since July the 12th. That's over a week. Had his double off the bench yesterday. Probably told Coach Pickler, hey, I'm good to go. I want to be back in there tomorrow. Here he is, 2 hits and 2 tries, including an RBI knock there with 2 outs. Clutch knock, Mike Bovee. That's what he does.
Named an all-star yesterday, looking like one today. Here's the right-handed bat of Johnny Long. 2 outs, runner at first, 1-0 YD. The pitch, fastball on the outer edge. No balls and 1 strike to Long. So the Red Sox now with a 1-0 lead over the Cotuit Kettleers. As the Eastern and Western this summer, each team has won 1 contest. 0-1. Long takes a slider, low. And they count 1 ball and 1 strike. Not a lot of wind here at Red Wilson Field. The trees standing tall across the outfield. Bovee leads at first. He has 2 of the 3 hits today, and 1 good for the lead, an RBI. 1-1 to the plate. Slider away. 2 balls and a strike, and Sam, that speed you were talking about for Montgomery, you see it on display there. Not even really a close play at home. Bradfield's throw was in on a couple hops, and even if it was on the line, Montgomery beats it to the plate.
Especially because Calvin Harris didn't field it cleanly, but it was a strong throw, just was never going to get him. Montgomery runs too well.
2-1 to Long. And he fouls one off down the right field line. Clips off the top of the fence. 2 balls and 2 strikes, 2 outs, runner at first. Johnny has reached in 6 straight games. Struck out back in the second. The lone strikeout recorded by the righty Harrison Cone. He peeks over his left shoulder. Bovee leads at first. Checking on Mike. Throw back to the bag. And Mike Bovee back on a head-first slide. Never understand why Barrel decides to hold his batting gloves in his right hand when he leads from the base, but that's his thing, and it's working. Shakes the dirt out of his belt buckle. Here's the 2-2, and it misses below the zone. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Bovee at first. Full count to Johnny Long. Whitey with a run in, leading 1-0. The 3-2. Bovee's running, swinging a foul tip into the glove of Harris, and a strikeout ends the bottom of the 4th. 1 hit, 1 comes across, 1 left on, and the Whitey Red Sox take a 1-0 lead into the 5th inning here at Red Wilson Field. New pitcher on the mound for the Whitey Red Sox. It's Sam Klein, the right-hander, as we welcome you back to Red Wilson Field. 1-0. The Whitey Red Sox lead the Cotuit Kettleers on an overcast day here in South Yarmouth. Due up for Cotuit, Colby Wilkerson, the 9-hole hitter, Tommy Troy, and Enrique Bradfield Jr. The umpires right now talking to Mike Roberts and Sammy Wonder. It's overcast, sure, but it's also 6:16. You think maybe talking about the weather?
Maybe chatting about the threat of rain, which there really isn't much of a threat, even though we have dark overcast clouds. I think it's more of a conversation of, hey, the overcast skies make this a little bit dark, but we're able to continue playing right now. But if it gets any considerably darker than this, we might have to call this game. The good news for the Red Sox is that they're leading right now. If Sam Klein can get them through the top half of this inning, well, then this game would be an official ball game with the Red Sox leading. If they have to call it with the Red Sox leading after this half inning, they would be winning this game.
Tyler Johnson, a pinch hitter, batting from the left side for Colby Wilkerson, digs in to face the righty Sam Klein. First pitch, fastball, misses off the inside part of the plate. 1 ball and no strikes. 1-0 YD leads, top of the 5th inning. Tyler Johnson, one of the better hitters in this lineup, a guy who's a extra base hitting machine. Tied for 3rd on Cape in extra base hits. 1-0, he swings and misses at a high fastball. 1 ball and 1 strike. Leads the Cape with his 6 home runs, 4th in RBIs, and 2nd in slugging. In other words, he hits the ball hard. Shift is on for the left-handed batter. 3rd baseman Bovey to the right of 2nd base. In the hole is Antillian. Down the first base line, the first baseman Long. 1-1. Another fastball above the zone. 2 balls and a strike as the wind starts to pick up a lot. The flag in left is screaming out to left field. The trees start to dance all across the outfield as the dark clouds hang overhead. No threat of rain. It's very humid. 2-1. Klein paints a fastball on the inner edge. 2 balls, 2 strikes, just below the belt of Tyler Johnson. For Sam Klein, this is his 4th outing of the summer, a guy who has had a forgettable previous 2 outings against Harwich and Brewster. He's gone an inning combined, giving up 3 earned runs. Sets at the belt from the first base side of the rubber. 2-2. Fastball foul down the left field line, hooks into the seats. 1-0 YD, top 5, nobody on, nobody out.
But Klein's got excellent numbers from school this year. I think for him it's more of a matter of settling into his routine. It's been a little inconsistent. The outings have been few and far between for him.
2-2. Swinging a high fly ball, left center field. Homer Bush Jr. going back. The center fielder runs into the fence as it leaves the yard. Tyler Johnson with 1 swing evens this game up. We are knotted up at 1. And the home run king on Cape continues his reign with a solo blast.
Just a 2-strike curveball that caught a little bit of the plate, was running kind of towards that down and outside corner, and Johnson sat back on it and just got it over that short center field fence. Homer Bush has had issues when he's played center field, hitting that fence hard, but nothing you can do there. That's a home run for the best home run hitter on Cape Cod this summer.
A Red Wilson special for Tyler Johnson. As here's the right-handed bat of Tommy Troy. The leadoff hitter takes a curve for a strike. No balls and 1 strike. We are back even at 1. And Sam, you mentioned it, a ball that just looked like a routine fly ball off the end of the bat. Bush tracking it. And all of a sudden there was the fence and the ball just squeaking over the top. 0-1, swinging a foul back behind the press box. No balls and 2 strikes. And you wonder if that wind, which is pushing the flag towards left center, right where the ball went, carried it out on a hot day. All the factors pointing towards a home run ball. Klein, a closed off stance, jersey flapping in the wind. 0-2, fastball well above the zone. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Tommy Troy, who's got a black matte hat on with a bright glossy S on the front for the Stanford Cardinal. Open stance, waves the bat in front of him. 1-2. Curveball. Troy lifts down the left field line, hooking towards the bullpen. It's foul. Somebody is up and going. Looks like.
I think Eric Calhoun's just got a rake in his hands.
Oh, so he's not throwing. He's raking. Gotta give props to Aaron for being proactive. He's
making sure that mound is ready to go for whoever's next up on the hot sheet.
A true teammate. Nobody out. Nobody on. A run comes in on a solo shot from Tyler Johnson to begin the top of the 5th. It's 1-1. Klein's 1-2. Curveball misses below the zone. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Tommy Troy. It's interesting, Sam, you look at Tommy Troy and Eddie Park, the 2 Stanford players in the lineup for this Cotuit team, and 2 very similar arcs throughout the season for these 2 players. Here's the 2-2. Klein deals a curve at the knees. Strike 3 called. Tommy Troy down looking for the 2nd time today. That's the first strikeout for Sam Klein. And here is Enrique Bradfield Jr. What I mean by that, in that they had very similar arcs in their season, both guys got scorching hot, white hot, should we say, towards the final half of the season. Troy hit .468 over the final month. There's about 15 games. Eddie Park hit .520 over the final 13 games. I don't know what was in the water late in the season at Stanford. First pitch to lefty Bradfield Jr. He looks at a ball low. 1 ball and no strikes.
That'll go a long way to helping a team make a deep playoff run, which is what Stanford did, getting themselves to Omaha this year.
Shift is on for the left-handed bat. Fastest man in baseball in the batter's box. 1 out. Curveball just misses. 2 balls and no strikes to Enrique Bradfield Jr. Mike Bovey, the third baseman, is in on the grass. The shortstop, Colquer, gets to the right of second. And with his heels on the grass is the second baseman, Antillian, in the gap. 2-0. Bradfield takes a fastball that just misses on the inner edge. Tight strike zone from Jeff Kinney. 3 balls and no strikes, and a couple of complaints from the YD dugout. Klein bent at the waist. He stares in towards Gonzalez, then comes set. Left foot in front of the right, kicks 3-0. Fastball down Broadway, 3 balls and 1 strike in a 1-1 game in the top of the 5th. 1 out, nobody on. Kettleers beginning 4 in a row against the Eastern Division. YD in the middle of 5 in a row against the Western Division. 3-1. Swinging a pop-up down the left field line. Curls towards the berm. It is a very full house here at Red Wilson Field. About 5 rows of lawn chairs down the right field line, 4 down the left field line. It's great weather because of the wind and the humidity, Sam. It's nice to be outside today, and people are taking advantage.
It's cooler than it was yesterday, but still feels very warm.
Payoff pitch. Bradfield uppercuts it into shallow center field. Going back to shortstop Colquer. Coming in, the center fielder Homer Bush Jr. This one is a true pop-up, and it's recorded for out number 2. So props to Sam Klein, who retires the 2 most dangerous hitters in the lineup after giving up the home run to Tyler Johnson. Here's C.J. Kafis, 1-1 the score. Top of the 5th inning, 2 outs, bases empty.
That was a pretty impressive plate appearance, too, because you fall behind 3-0 to a guy who, anytime he walks, it's pretty much an automatic double because of his speed. And you challenged him there.
Opening offering to lefty Kafis, and he takes a half swing and comes up with air. And the count, no balls and 1 strike to the Miami product. He had a 4-game hitting streak end yesterday. Second team all ACC was C.J. Kafis. Gonzalez sets up away, 0-1. Fastball slapped into left field. Starting back is the left fielder, Caden Connor. He then moves in towards the line and makes the catch. 1 hit, but it's a loud one. Tyler Johnson, a home run to left center field, and that takes us to the bottom of the 5th. We're halfway home here at Red Wilson Field. The Whitey Red Sox and the Cotuit Kettleers even at 1.
Hey fans, Devinheim is the official website development company of the Yarmouth Dennis Red Sox. They designed and developed our website and help us with marketing to bring more fans to the games and more visitors to our website. Devinheim helps organizations generate more leads and maximize their marketing budget. Check out devinheim.com to learn more and be sure to like Devinheim on Facebook. That's DEVADIGM.com. Devinheim.com.
As a proud sponsor of Cape Cod Baseball League, the Mass State Lottery is celebrating the games we love, playing for the baseball diamond of the many lottery games that help support all 351 cities and towns across the Commonwealth. So here's to 50 years of winning and 50 more. A new fielder for the Cotuit Kettleers as we welcome you back to the bottom of the 5th inning. It's Trotter Harlan at second. He's also in the 9-hole, so Tyler Johnson gets 1 at-bat. He gets a home run, and that's it for him.
Pretty good day at the office.
I'd say he's going to go home with a smile on his face.
I did my job.
1-1 thanks to the Johnson home run in the top of the 5th. Here's the righty Fernando Gonzalez, first pitch. Fastball high. YD and Cotuit facing off for the third time this summer. Both games have been pretty memorable. Red Sox won the first one at Cotuit 5-3 in what was a historic win for Scott Pickler. A 1-0 down the hill. Gonzalez takes a slider low. 2 balls and no strikes. And in the second game, Cotuit held YD to just 5 hits, dominated them with their pitching staff. It's been a tale of 2 halves, though, for the Kettleers in terms of pitching. 2-0. Gonzalez looks at a changeup for a strike on the outer edge. 2 balls and 1 strike. 1-1. Bottom of the 5th. A Cotuit team that, through the month of June, which they dominated, picking up 12 wins in 24 days. 2-1. Gonzalez fouls one off his right leg. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Had a team ERA that was below 2, a 1.99 to be exact, in the month of June. In the month of July, their team ERA is a 4.97. Stark differences for Cotuit, and that's been a reason they've struggled. They had an 8-game winless streak this month. Nobody on, nobody out, 2-2. Gonzalez leans back as the fastball is high above the zone. 3 balls and 2 strikes, nobody out. Harrison Cohen still pitching, working in his 5th inning. His jersey mostly soaked with his own sweat. The wind moving the flag in left. 3-2. Gonzalez golfs one into shallow left center field. Left fielder Eddie Park coming in. He loses his hat, but finds the baseball with 2 hands for security. And there's one away on the full count fly out to left. The sky is all gray. You couldn't tell me that there was a blue sky behind the clouds. No threat of rain, though, on this humid Thursday night. Redshirt Friday tomorrow. The Red Sox welcome in the Wareham Gatemen in the middle of 5 in a row against Western Division opponents. That's how it is across Cape for this week. First pitch to the righty, Antillian, as a fastball away. And the count, 1 ball and no strikes. Nobody on. 1-1, YD and Cotuit. Pretty much everyone is playing cross-divisional opponents, which is big for the standings. 1-0. Fastball hot. 2 balls and no strikes. Because, Sam, if you're a team towards the bottom of the division, trying to battle for that 4th spot, the final playoff spot, you can not only not lose any ground in the playoffs by one team winning, and then gain ground by defeating a team not in your division. 2-0. Antillian drives one into left field that drops in front of Eddie Park for a base hit. Gunnar Antillian with his 3rd hit in his 8th at-bat is a Whitey Red Sox, and the New Mexico State product looking like a staple. Out of the bottom of the lineup, here's the leadoff hitter, Homer Bush Jr., a 1-out single for Antillian.
He's looked good. Nice short swing. Hits line drives all over the field. That one he just got off the end of the bat, but we've been told he's got a little bit of power in that stroke as well. We haven't seen it yet, but hopefully at some point a guy who can get his doubles.
Righty Homer Bush Jr. looks on, and he takes the first pitch fastball that paints the outside part of the plate. No balls at 1 strike. What's impressed me about Antillian at the plate, Sam, is he's really not tried to do too much. And a lot of guys come to the Cape with all this prestige, and there's that added pressure. Throw back to first. He's back with a head-first dive. Literally left the ground.
Little Superman moment there, flying through the air to the first base bag.
Is it a bird? It's a plane? No, it's Grant Antillian diving back to first. 1 out, 1 on, 0-1. Curveball misses low. 1 ball, 1 strike. Homer Bush Jr. is grounded out to short twice. Antillian at first. 1 out, 1-1. YD and Cotuit. Here's the 1-1. Homer Bush Jr. rolls one off the end of the bat. Too short. Scooped up by the shortstop. Troy goes to second for 1. The turn to first. Not a chance. Bush beats it out. Antillian gunned down. He heads back into the dugout. And Homer Bush Jr. is aboard on the fielder's choice. A slow roller, which gave Homer plenty of time. There's 2 away. Here's Cole Carey.
See if they try to put Homer in motion here with 2 out. Give Cole a chance to drive home a run with a 2-out hit. Try to get the Red Sox back in front in this game with a little 2-out rally.
Calvin Harris, the catcher for the Cotuit Kettleers, has not had any success throwing anybody out. 7 stolen bases against him. He hasn't thrown out anyone. Throwback to first, back on a head-first slide is Homer Bush Jr. So this is a situation if you're Harrison Cohen, working from the third base side of the rubber, he has to do as much as he can to try to hold Homer Bush over there at first. Switching lefty, Carrig looks in. First pitch on. Fastball away. 1 ball and no strikes.
Carlo, I know that I'm not, asked for these kind of decisions, but I would send him on this pitch. I want to give him a chance to run before Carrig has seen more than 1 strike. On a 1-0 count, I think this is a good spot to do it.
Throw back to first. Harrison Cohen thinking what you're thinking. Homer Bush back in a head-first dive. Red Sox got a run in the bottom of the 4th. Then Tyler Johnson home run in the top of the 5th. Made it 1-1. Here we are in the bottom of the 5th with 2 outs. Go-ahead run at first for the switching lefty, Cole Carrig. 1-0, runner goes. Fastball misses low and away. The throw over the head of the shortstop, Troy, into center field. Bradfield backs it up. The center fielder's throw into third base is not in time. And 180 feet taken by Homer Bush Jr. as he steals second, goes to third. Congratulations, Sam Lebowitz.
Maybe they should consult me more on these kind of decisions because, frankly, that worked out perfectly for the Red Sox. Only way it could have worked out better is if Bradfield's throw was wild and allowed Homer to score. Now you got the go-ahead run 90 feet away. This is a big spot here, and Cole Carrig a chance to drive home a run.
And Mike Roberts wants to go talk to his pitcher, Harrison Cohen. Somebody is up in that pen. Haven't seen Roberts make a call. But the go-ahead run 90 feet away in a 1-1 game. That's the 8th stolen base against Calvin Harris. He has still not thrown anybody out and threw that ball just over the head of Tommy Troy. Bradfield did a really good job of coming in and making the play at third somewhat close. But with the speed of Homer Bush Jr., as he says, Sam, he can do things that scientifically other people cannot do.
Looked like it there because he can absolutely fly, and to have the wherewithal and the the know-how to know what's going on around him, to get up quickly out of the slide and motor towards third, it's a really smart play. I think up in the bullpen is the Stanford right-hander Max Meyer. I could be wrong. Can't really see great from this angle, but perhaps we'll find out shortly.
Brady Montgomery would be on deck if Cohen were unable to retire Carrig, and Schliger would come up to the plate. So it'd be Stanford on Stanford. Go-ahead run leads at third. Homer Bush Jr. in his white jersey. Here's the 2-0 to the plate. Carrig bunts it foul, third base side. Cole jumps in the air and spins as he kicks some dirt aside. He thought he had a chance there. 2 balls and a strike.
It's an interesting play. Try to put something on the ground on the bunt and beat out an infield hit to score the go-ahead run. But Cole's hitting above 300. I want to see him swing.
In at third on the infield grass is Ruda, the third baseman. 2-1 to Carrig. He swings and just taps one over towards the empty on-deck circle of Cotuit. 2 balls, 2 strikes in a 1-1 game in the bottom of the 5th.
He's got a battle now. We saw this in that at-bat in the 9th inning against Harwich in the 7-7 tie on the 19th, that he had Bush on third. That was with only 1 out. That was the winning run, and he chased outside of the strike zone on all 4 pitches before striking out. There, again, just looks a little overeager with the man on third base, trying to do a little too much. Now he's got a battle.
2-2. He swings and rips one down the right field line. Curling. Is it going to stay fair? No. And Homer Bush Jr. with a huge gash in the backside of his left hamstring on those pans from sliding around. Jogs back to third base. Homer looks like he was playing around in the infield. His front of his uniform is completely brown from sliding back into the bag, and the back is brown as well.
Like he found a sandbox.
2-2 with 2 outs. Here it comes. Carrig taps one foul down the left field line. Wind blowing out to left, but not as strongly as it was when Tyler Johnson hit his game-tying home run in the top of the 5th. Red Sox in their 3rd battle this summer against Cotuit looking for their second win. YD trying to avoid back-to-back losses for the third time this summer. Carrick looks, the 2-2. And he swings and nubs one foul. Again, down the third base line. That's the changeup. Identical lines across the board. 1 run, 4 hits, 1 error. Carrick 0 for 2, looking for his first hit all summer against Cotuit. He's 0 for 10 against the Kettleers. 2-2. Carrick takes a ball in the dirt. It skirts up the first baseline. Bush is coming home, and he scores on a head-first slide. Just barely got away from Calvin Harris down the first base line, maybe 10 feet. Harrison Cohen came sprinting home, and an underhand flip from Harris. Cohen could not control. It wasn't going to matter anyway. Homer Bush Jr. with some heads-up base running gives YD back the lead. It's 2-1 in the bottom of the 5th.
And you're right, Carlo. That ball barely got away from the catcher Harris, but Homer Bush never hesitated. As soon as he saw it was in the dirt and it was outside the immediate vicinity, he came on home, doing things that only he can do.
3-2, strike 3, catches the outside part of the plate. Carrick does not agree as he bounces up in the air and heads to the dugout. The YD Red Sox come home with a run thanks to heady base running from Homer Bush Jr. He reaches on a fielder's choice, steals second, goes to third on a throwing error from the catcher Cohen, and comes home on a wild pitch. 2-1, YD leads Cotuit through the 5th. Fans, it's time for our 6th inning trivia contest brought to you by Coxswain Media, Pixie 103, Cape Cod's Rock. Actually, we're going to do it in the middle of the 6th. We're ahead of schedule, so we have the liberty to pause. And we'll tease you. The trivia's coming in between the middle of the 6th inning. A new infielder. It is Hunter Haas at shortstop for the YD Red Sox. Antillian out of the game at second. Cole Carrick slides from short to second. 2-1. The YD Red Sox lead the Cotuit Kettleers as we begin the 6th inning. Left-handed bat of Josh Pearson digs in. 4-5-6 due up for Cotuit. Klein's first pitch. Big curveball. First strike 1 in the count. No balls and 1 strike. Red Sox scoring in the bottom of the 4th. Cotuit tying things up with a Tyler Johnson solo home run in the top of the 5th. The Red Sox doing it right back in the bottom of the 5th. Bringing home Homer Bush Jr. 0-1. Another curve, another strike. This one on the outside part of the plate, mid-thigh height. No balls and 2 strikes. And with 2 strikes, Mike Bovey, the third baseman, goes and plays to the right of second base. Cole Carrick, now at second base, is in the hole. And at first, Johnny Long playing down the line. Overcast skies, humidity, and a light breeze. 0-2. Fastball misses up and in. Stepping back a step is Josh Pearson, who struck out twice today. 1 ball and 2 strikes to him with nobody on and nobody out, and a 2-1 YD lead over Cotuit in the top of the 6th. Sam Klein with his toe on the first base side of the rubber. Comes set, 1-2. Curveball swung on and lifted into left field. Coming in, the left fielder, Caden Connor. He then puts the brakes on and makes the catch. Josh Pearson is 0 for 3. Here's Calvin Harris, who's 1 for 2. Harris out of Ole Miss, a guy who was a big reason for the national champions into why they were able to go from the last team in to the only team left. Left-handed batter looks towards Klein. First pitch home. Curveball bounces in. 1 ball and no strikes. 2-1. YD leads Cotuit. During the NCAA tournament, he played 9 games, hit .382, 8 RBIs, 2 home runs. During the regular season, Calvin Harris was sitting around mid-200s. The 1-0. Slider on the outer edge. 1 ball, 1 strike with 1 out and the base is empty. Tweaked his swing in the middle of the season. That's what led to all that success. And for Harris, it was where he was loading before he was swinging. 1-1. Swing and a miss at a high fastball. 1 ball and 2 strikes. During batting practice and practice sessions, he worked on generating more balance. He shortened to that stride. Instead of a shin-high kick, Sam, it was more of a subdued horizontal step, providing more balance through his swing. 1-2. Takes a fastball high. 2 balls, 2 strikes. And he fixed that stride and took off. And a huge reason Ole Miss is national champs. 2-1, YD leads, top 6, 1 out, bases empty. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Harris. He takes that short stride and looks at a curveball low. 3 balls and 2 strikes to him. That story coming from Jake Davis of the Oxford Eagle. 3-2 down the hill. Curveball misses high. Down to first goes Calvin Harris on a 3-2 walk. First walk surrendered by Sam Klein in his second inning of work. Here's the lefty, Sam Ruda.
And Carlo, I think some of the more impressive notes about Calvin Harris are that he was getting back in the cages only about 4 days after winning the national championship because he wanted to come here to play for Mike Robertson Cotuit. Not only did he want to play here, he wanted to move positions. He had caught before, but he was primarily an outfielder with Ole Miss, and as he gets lifted for a pinch runner, actually, he wanted to come out to the Cape and do a lot of catching to show scouts that he's capable of doing it all.
So the California catcher, Caleb Lomavita, who subs in for him at first, will make sure we get that defensive change when it comes in the bottom of the 6. 2-1. The Red Sox lead the Cotuit Kettleers. Sam Ruda, the left-handed batter with a very tan bat, digs in, facing off the righty Sam Klein. Sam on Sam. The pitch up. Curveball raked into left field. The left fielder, Caden Connor, takes 2 steps forward, makes the catch. 2 outs. And in stands Carter Trice, the transfer headed to NC State. After the 1-out walk, Klein trying to work around it. Trice trying to extend a 5-game hitting streak on this overcast day at Red Wilson. The wind has died down a lot. The flag that was once gusting out to left is standing stone still above the scoreboard. First pitch to Trice, curveball, misses low. 1 ball and no strikes. Sam Carter Trice, when he's in that box, he moves the bat forward and back. Oftentimes you'll see guys bounce it off their shoulders, but he's almost chopping wood like an axe, as if he's trying to cut something in half. 1-0. Skips in. Change up for ball 2. 2 balls and no strikes as Fernando Gonzalez sheds the mask, recovers the ball.
One of the more unique setups I think I've seen on Cape. Not quite as extreme as I've seen some hitters just wave the bat out in front of them as if they're showing the pitcher where they want the ball to be. But
Lomavita at first. Pinch running for Calvin Harris. 2-0. Swing and a miss on the fastball away. 2 balls and 1 strike. Trice struck out swinging against Ivan Romero, the starter, back in the 4th. Red Sox 2, Kettleers 1. Top 6, 2 gone. Klein sets the 2-1. Fastball, another wave. Same spot, same result. Count levels, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Sam Klein trying to get through 2 innings, giving up just 1 hit and 1 run. It was the Red Wilson's special solo home run. Tyler Johnson just getting one past the 360-foot fence in left center. Lamovita, a very conservative lead at first. He's the tying run. Here's the 2-2. Fastball. Smack towards left. Down the right, or in right, excuse me, the right fielder, Brandon Montgomery, drifts towards the line and makes the catch. One walk, one left on. No runs come across. We head to the bottom of the sixth here on the Cape Cod Broadcast Network. YD protects their lead. Sam Klein gets through a clean inning. It's 2-1. We welcome you back to Red Wilson Field, where it's time for our sixth inning trivia contest, brought to you by Coxswain Media and Pixie 103. We'll give you today's trivia question. Answer the question before the next home game by going to whiteyredsox.com/trivia. Answer correctly, and you'll be eligible to win an official Whitey Red Sox game jersey signed by the 2022 Whitey Red Sox team. Sam, you ready for today's trivia?
I am, Carlo.
All right. Which former Whitey Red Sox player won Rookie of the Year, batting champion, and MVP? Don't forget to submit your answer at whiteyredsox.com/trivia. New pitcher on the mound for the Cotuit Kettleers. It's Max Meyer out of Stanford, the right-handed sidewinder with a bright cardinal red glove on his left hand. And Sam, how has Meyer performed in these last couple of weeks with the Cotuit Kettleers?
This is just his fifth outing. It's not gone great if you look just at the stat line, but it's a little more nuanced than that. His first two outings were scoreless going back to July 2nd. Gave up a run in his third outing against Bourne, and then waited a week to pitch, and then gave up 5 runs in 1 inning to the Orleans Firebirds back on July 14th. That was the last time he pitched. So the ERA sits at about 11.5 right now, but 5 of the 6 runs he's allowed came in 1 outing. A side armor out of Stanford. You'll see the ball sink a little into the right-handed batters, and he's a Boston area guy, a Belmont, Massachusetts native.
He sets at about a 45-degree angle, even less than that, and then throws from that sidearm position. Bottom of the 6th, 2-1. The Whitey Red Sox lead the Cotuit Kettleers. Luke Schliger, Brandon Montgomery, Caden Connor due up. 3, 4, 5 hitters against the new pitcher out of Stanford, Max Meyer. Schliger looking for his first hit today. He's grounded out to second twice. Flag quiet in left as gray skies hang overhead. A cloudy and humid day here at Red Wilson Field. Meyer's first pitch to the lefty Schliger. And he looks at a fastball for a strike. No balls and 1 strike. Luke wearing some brand new bright white cleats today that match the white uniforms of the Whitey Red Sox. We talked to him in batting practice today. Here's the 0-1. Slider off the edge. 1 ball, 1 strike. And Luke said, Sam, you can't get those for a couple years. They are Under Armours from Maryland, and essentially he's testing them and going to give feedback back to the company. 1-1. Slider misses low and in. 2 balls and a strike. And Luke said he was thinking about bringing him out for the All-Star game, but thought he'd break him in these next 2 games. So Luke Schliger is wearing exclusive kicks here at Red Wilson Field. Myers, 2-1. Fastball on the inner edge. Schliger brought his hands up, thinking it was on the inside part of the plate. He is not happy. Looking towards home plate umpire Jeff Kinney. Sticks his toe into the dirt. says some words to the in the blue shirt and digs back in. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2-1 Whitey leads. Bottom 6, nobody out, nobody on. Meyer sets, closed off stance, right toe on the right side of the rubber. 2-2. Schliger fights off a fastball away, taps it back to the screen.
Those fastballs from Meyer are moving. He's got some sink on that sidearm fastball, and I think that on the previous pitch is what Schliger was upset about, is that it looked like it started at his front hip and then came back to the inside corner. And Schliger was a little fooled, and the ball may have been inside, but had some nice movement darting back to the strike zone.
2-2 to Luke. And he takes off the inner edge. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Fastball too close to him.
He tried to do it again, but that one didn't move as much and stayed inside on Luke.
The all-star starter, Luke Schliger, for the Eastern Division, trying to get aboard to begin the bottom of the 6th. Full count offering from Meyer. Here it comes. Luke rolls one foul, first base side. 3 balls and 2 strikes as Schliger steps out of the batter's box, a black sleeve on his right arm. Third matchup of the summer between these two teams. Whitey in the middle of 5 in a row against Western Division opponents. They are 8-4-2 against the neighbors to the west. Base is empty, nobody out, 2-1 YD. Another 3-2 pitch from Max Meyer. No, time is called. Caleb Lomavita is the new catcher. He came in for Calvin Harris to pinch run. And to no surprise, behind the plate in his Cal catching gear, gold and blue. 3-2. Schliger takes ball 4. Changeup bounces in the dirt. Luke does what he does best, and that's reach. Second on Cape and on base percentage. Up stands Braden Montgomery, switch hitter, and it's Stanford on Stanford with 1 on and nobody out. YD looking to add to their 2-1 lead.
I find side armors fascinating. I think they're a lot of fun. Sometimes they can struggle with command because you get so much sink when you come out of that angle that can be tough if you're not starting it in the right spot. Although the side armor that Cotuit had earlier this summer didn't really have any issues with anything.
Throw back to first. Back on a head first slide is the 5'9 Schliger.
Jackson Kelly, who was here earlier this summer, was a pitcher of the week on Cape Cod as a reliever. You know how hard that is, Carlo?
I don't. I've never done it.
Not easy to be pitcher of the week as a reliever. He was outstanding before he left.
Switch hitting lefty, Montgomery stares in towards his college teammate, and the first pitch misses away. 1 ball and no strikes. On the fastball, Meyer with the cardinal red glove on his left hand. Braden Montgomery with the cardinal red shoes. The Nikes on his feet. The nods to the Stanford Cardinal for these two players. Schliger at first after the walk. 1-0, fastball misses away. 2 balls and no strikes. And you have to imagine, Sam, you think for Montgomery, he has a little bit more of an advantage than maybe anybody else in the lineup because while the delivery might be funky from Max Meyer, he has seen it in fall ball.
These two have certainly faced before, yeah, in team workouts.
Schliger stoically leads at first. 2-0. Changeup off the edge. 3 balls and no strikes. And Max Meyer a ball away from walking the first 2 batters of the bottom of the 6th. It's 2-1 YD. Trying to win the second of 3 games against Cotuit. They'll face them next week after the All-Star break for the final time in the regular season. 3-0. Swing and a miss. Montgomery swinging 3-0 and just gets under a fastball. 3 balls and a strike. That's a first.
Out of his shoe top. So I guess he's gotten enough respect from Scott Pickler so that Pick allows him to take a 3-0 hack and say, hey, kid, you got some power. Why not use it a little bit in a guaranteed fastball situation? Just came up empty.
Schliger with his hands on his knees at first base. 3-1. Montgomery rolls one hard into right field, a base hit. Schliger holds it second. Braden Montgomery has his first hit of the day. The first 2 batters of the 6th inning reach for the Whitey Red Sox. Here's Caden Connor, who's 1 for 2 today. YD with a runner in scoring position against Max Meyer and a chance to add to their 2-1 lead with nobody out in the bottom of the 6th. And a good piece of hitting there by Braden Montgomery. So much power and just too hard of a ground ball for the second baseman, Harlan, who was playing up the middle in double play depth to get to. Defense comes in at the corners against Caden Connor. Third baseman Rutta with his toes on the infield grass. Kafis is not holding on Montgomery at first. First baseman also is in on the infield grass. Meyer looks at second towards Schliger. First pitch. Connor shows bunt. Bunts it down the third base line. Loma Vida picks it up with a bare hand. Throws to first in time to get Caden Connor. But on to third is Schliger. Going to second is Braden Montgomery. Caden Connor does his job. Keeps the line moving. 2 in scoring position with just 1 out for Barrel Mike, the man with the lone RBI today for the Whitey Red Sox.
That was interesting by Loma Vida. He pounced on that ball like a cat, but that ball looked like it had a chance to roll foul, but if it hadn't, you might lose the play on Caden Connor. So you take the out that they're giving you instead of, taking the chance to maybe get Caden Connor out a different way, but a nice play nonetheless by Loma Vida.
Loma Vida was a first-team All-Pac-12 player in the Pac-12 as a freshman this past year. Infield comes in. Lefty Bovey looks up. The pitch, change up away. Max Meyer is struggling to find the strike zone. 1 ball and no strikes. Inning started with a 3-2 walk to Luke Schliger. Montgomery rolled one into right to single back behind Schliger. Here's the 1-0 to the lefty Mike Bovey, and he takes a fastball away. 2 balls and no strikes. Caden Connor put down the bunt. Schliger at third, Montgomery at second, bottom 6, 2-1 YD. Mike Bovey is 2 for 2 today. He's 3 for his last 3 going back to yesterday. Can he add another layer to his fantastic comeback? 2-0. Fastball on a strike at the top of the zone. 2 balls and 1 strike. A guy who was out of the lineup for over a week, dealing with various injuries. And the Summit League Player of the Year back in the lineup today for the first time since July 13th, a game in which he had just 1 at-bat against Bourne before leaving. Open stance, holds the elbows tightly together, the bat levitating over his shoulder. 2-1, he bunts it. It's a squeeze play down the third base line. Scoring is Schliger. Throw on to first in time to get Bovey from the pitcher, Max Meyer. And YD brings home a run. Mike Bovey, another RBI. This one to score Luke Schliger. It's 3-1. The Red Sox add another run to their lead.
Good execution by the Red Sox. Bovey got the bunt sign. Had a couple of hits today. Now a sacrifice RBI bunt moves the runner up to third in doing so. And Schliger got a good jump from third base. Just followed that ball down the line.
Righty Johnny Long looks on. Montgomery is at third with 2 outs. First pitch, Long bends back and almost takes a fastball off his left elbow. 1 ball and no strikes. We saw them tease the squeeze play earlier in this game, Sam. And they put it down there, and it works.
Ball was also coming up and away on Bovey, and he just followed it.
1-0. Long looks at a fastball that catches the outside part of the plate. 1 ball, 1 strike. 3-1. Whitey leads. We're in the bottom of the 6th inning. Singleton's in the 4th, the 5th, and now the 6th for the Red Sox. Looking to down the Cotuit Kettleers, one of the best teams in the Western Division. 1-1. Johnny Long swings and lifts one into left field. The left fielder, Eddie Park, at the wall, looking up. He climbs the fence and watches it leave. Johnny Long with a long ball for 2 runs. It's 5-1. The Red Sox jump all over Cotuit in the bottom of the 5th.
Hanging slider. And Long got one up into the wind out in left center field. The first time we've seen Johnny pull a home run this year. He's gone to right center in his 3 previous long balls, but that'll help as it starts to get darker here. Any single run that the Red Sox put on the board goes a long way towards deciding this game. And Johnny Long, another long ball.
4th home run of the summer for Johnny Long. He leads the team. And in stands Fernando Gonzalez. Bases cleared, 2 outs, a 3-run bottom of the 5th. It's 5-1 YD. Opening offering, Ready Gonzalez looks at a fastball low and in. 1 ball and no strikes. I almost thought Sam Eddie Park had a chance. He got all the way atop that chain link fence and left. And the ball just out of his reach. 1-0 to Gonzalez. Fastball on the outside part of the plate. 1 ball, 1 strike.
And it just kept carrying. We noted earlier in the game about how balls were flying today during batting practice. That ball got up into the wind that we've got out, blowing out to left field, and just kept on going.
1-1. Fastball away. 2 balls and a strike. Movita lunging to his left to snare it. Tyler Johnson, a solo home run back in the 5th inning. Johnny Long, a 2-run home run in the bottom of the 6th. The 2 home runs today. 2-1. Fernando Gonzalez rakes one into left field. Eddie Park racing back into the gap. The left fielder makes a head-high catch. That does it for the bottom of the 6th. 2 hits, 3 runs come across, and a big 2-run home run by Johnny Long. 7th inning coming your way on the Cape Cod Broadcast Network. It's 5-1. YD leads Cotuit.
No summer in Whitey Red Sox Nation would be complete without our youth baseball clinics, where boys and girls ages 5 and up can learn the game of baseball and the importance of sportsmanship. Kids get to master the fundamentals of the game and sharpen their skills in a fun baseball clinic taught by Coach Pickler and the future major leaguers on our roster. For more information, go to whiteyredsox.com/clinics. This year's youth baseball clinics are proudly sponsored by the Salty Dog Group of Keller Williams Realty, MP Sports Cards, and Giardino's Family Restaurant. The Whitey Red Sox and all the kids, thank you. And fans, only one more full game before the Home Run Derby and the All-Star Game at Spillane Field on Saturday. Tickets are just $5. You can buy them here at Red Wilson Field. And the Red Sox are home tomorrow against Wareham. So come on by the ballpark, buy your All-Star Game tickets, and watch your Red Sox All-Stars on Saturday in Wareham. Top of the 7th inning, Sam Klein back to the mound, staked to a 4-run lead. Red Sox tallying 3 more and going ahead 5-1 after a big 6th inning. Sam Klein will face 8-9-1 Eddie Park to lead it off against him. Left-hand hitter. The first pitch curveball misses beneath the knees for ball 1. Zach Lewis come into the game at third base, get Mike Bovee off his feet, but Bovee in his first start in over a week after he was banged up had a productive day for the Red Sox. 2 hits and 2 RBIs. The 1-0, a fastball misses low. To Eddie Park, 0 for 2, grounded into a fielder's choice and struck out. We think that this might be the last inning. Here in the 7th inning, the Red Sox have a generous lead at 5-1. 2-0, a fastball for a called strike. And with the overcast skies, even though we're only a few minutes past 7 o'clock, there's really not a whole lot of light on Red Wilson Field. The dark clouds above have cascaded us all day long. 2-1. Fastball that missed high, and the count 3-1 on Park. The Stanford Cardinal, who's played a nice left field today with his almost yellow ash bat that he holds parallel to the ground on his shoulder. The 3-1. Fastball that misses outside. 5-pitch walk to Park to start the frame. Second walk surrendered by Sam Klein. Luke Jewett is throwing in the Red Sox bullpen behind him. I think with the knowledge that the game could be ending soon, Scott Pickler is just making sure Luke is warmed in case he has to come into this game and relieve Klein and ensure that they get through this half inning with the Red Sox still leading. Get to see Trotter Harlan get his first at-bat. Came off the bench. He's been playing second base for the last couple innings. Right-hand batter, a curveball that misses a little high. Kobe Wilkerson started the game at second base. Only batted once. He struck out. Tyler Johnson pinch hit for him in the fifth inning. And Homer, that was the first batter that Sam Klein faced. 1-0. Swing and a miss, a fastball. And Harlan behind, or rather an even count to the right-hand hitter. Harlan out of the College of Charleston with some blonde hair coming out of the back of his black helmet. Runner on first, no out, a 1-1 count to him. On its way. Swing and a miss, another high fastball. On the count 1-2 now on Trotter Harlan.
This is a big at-bat here for Cotuit. If Harlan can somehow reach, you set the table nicely for the dangerous top of the lineup in Tommy Troy and Enrique Bradfield Jr.
First at-bat of the day for Harlan, the 1-2 to him. Swing and a miss, he got him. A high fastball, 3 straight heaters after falling behind 1-0 in the count. Sam Klein comes back to strike out his second hitter. And Tommy Troy, who's got a pair of Ks himself, was Klein's first strikeout. Will hit with a runner on first and 1 out. Red Sox leading 5-1 here in the top of the 7th inning on a warm, humid, overcast Thursday evening at Red Wilson Field. Still lots of fans in attendance. And the first pitch home to Troy. A curveball then misses low. Red Sox will be here again final time before the All-Star game on Saturday. They host Wareham tomorrow, another Western Division team coming in. 1-0. Fouled straight back, a fastball. It's the third of 4 times that the Red Sox are playing Cotuit. Tomorrow will be the third of 4 times that they play Wareham. And the last time today that they get Cotuit here. Last time they get Wareham here tomorrow. And then some Red Sox will head over to Spillane Field on Saturday for the All-Star game. 1-1. Curveball. Big swing and a miss. Count 1-2 on Troy. The Red Sox sending a small army of All-Stars to Spillane Field. They have 10 named All-Stars. Not all 10 are going. 1-2. Missed away. Gets away from Gonzalez. Heading to second is the runner Park, and he will get there standing as Gonzalez couldn't get a handle on that one on the grass to the right of home plate.
It looked like Fernando might have stepped awkwardly. He came up gingerly after the throw as he gathers himself behind home and shakes out that left leg. Home plate umpire Jeff Kinney is going to give the catcher from Georgia some time.
Klein taking a moment before stepping back onto the rubber, giving Fernando a moment to shake out that left leg and make sure he's feeling okay physically before this 2-2 pitch to Troy. Runner on second after the pass ball, 1 out. Red Sox leading 5-1, top of the 7th. Klein peers in over his black glove. Stands tall in the mound, sets at the belt. Looks back at second, the 2-2. Swing and a miss, a curveball. And Tommy Troy has struck out 3 times today against Red Sox pitching, twice against the closer from Ball State, Sam Klein. That's the second out here in the 7th with a runner on second. Enrique Bradfield will try to keep this 7th inning and maybe this game going. The umpires will have a decision to make about whether this game continues despite the lack of natural light on the field. No lights here at Red Wilson Field. So as always is the case, we're playing with what Mother Nature gives us. First pitch to Bradfield, left-hand hitter, a curveball in the dirt. Mentioned the All-Star game, the Red Sox have 10 total named All-Stars, 3 more named today as replacements for players who will not attend the game because they were drafted, including a Red Sox, Jared Lyons, another Red Sox who was named as a replacement but had to have a replacement named for him because he was drafted as well, and Zack. Ivan Romero, Mike Bovee also named today. 1-0 up the middle, a ground ball. Hunter Haas behind the bag. His throw to first is in plenty of time, and that might do it. And it will. Fernando Gonzalez shakes hands with the home plate umpire Jeffrey Kinney, and the Red Sox are winners here at Red Wilson Field in a 7-inning affair, a 5-1 win over the Cotuit Kettleers. The Red Sox are back in the win column, played a much tighter ball game after they struggled in Hartford, Connecticut yesterday amid the 100-degree heat. They come out against a very, very strong Cotuit team and down them 5-1 in 7 innings. And we welcome you into the broadcast booth. Sam Lebowitz alongside Carlo Jimenez. Carlo, you saw lots of action today. Your innings were filled with all the runs in this one as the Red Sox tallied a run in the 4th, the run in the 5th, 3 in the bottom of the 6th inning. Cotuit scoring their lone run on a Tyler Johnson home run to start the 5th inning. And the storylines in this one, Ivan Romero, his first start since June. What did you see out of Ivan today?
Yeah, Ivan was absolutely filthy. I think it was the resiliency that really stuck out. He fell behind in a couple of counts. Looked like maybe things would teeter away from him early in that game, but always stuck with it and threw the right pitch at the right time. Really a good job of, with his back against the wall in a couple of counts, still fighting back against the most dangerous offense on Cape in the Cotuit Kettleers.
And the Red Sox were able to blow this one open a little bit with 3 runs in the 6th inning. The big hit was a Johnny Long 2-run homer to left center, and I think that made the decision for the umpires a little easier on an overcast day here in South Yarmouth with really no sun in the sky all day, calling this one after 7 innings.
Yeah, a little bit of a surprise. We barely played 2 hours of baseball, but the overcast skies does not help here at Red Wilson Field. As we've seen, a couple days ago we were here and we played 3 hours because there was no clouds in the sky and the sun was bathing the field. Of course, next week we move to 4:30 starts, so if you're coming to Red Wilson or tuning into the stream, 4:30 home starts here at Red Wilson. YD, though, you'll take it. I mean, this is a team that looked lost yesterday, if we're being honest. Struggled against Hyannis, 2.5 hours down the road to Hartford, and it didn't look like themselves at all against the best team on Cape today. Look like more of themselves against Cotuit, and we'll see if this momentum rides into tomorrow as they welcome in the Wareham Gatemen.
Carlo, you said it. The Red Sox will take it, even though we didn't play a full 9 innings today. A 5-1 win for these YD Red Sox back in the win column and tied those Hyannis Harbor Hawks for the most wins on Cape Cod. They also tied these Cotuit Kettleers. 18 wins for your YD Red Sox. They continue to run rampant above the Eastern Division in those standings. Another Western Division foe comes into town tomorrow. It's the Wareham Gatemen, who come in from off Cape to play for the final time here in Red Wilson Field against the YD Red Sox, and that's a 5 o'clock start time. We will be on the call for that one, and we'll see you there tomorrow night.